If you're into Game Boy, there's a good chance you'll like my new Neo Geo Pocket Color series too. Every Thursday I'm reviewing a new Neo Geo game. Just join the PO3 Patreon or become a channel member here on YouTube. A sci-fi anime series from the mid-70s? Sign me up. I always thought science fiction was better when the writers were coming from an earlier time than now. There's more whimsy and speculation, I guess. The premise of space battleship Yamato is that in the year 2199, an alien race known as Gamilas began to unleash radioactive meteorite bombs on Earth, rendering the planet's surface uninhabitable. Humanity is retreated into deep underground cities, but nevertheless, life expectancy of the entire species is down to less than a year. Space travel has developed enough to allow interplanetary, but not interstellar travel, meaning the humans are massively outclassed by Gamilas. Just in time, Mars explorers discover faster-than-light blueprints and an extraterrestrial offer of help from one Queen Starsha of the planet Iskandar. She says that she is in possession of a device, the Cosmo Cleaner D, which can sort out Earth's radiation problem. The name Yamato comes from this World War II battleship Yamato that was sunk. The humans retrieve it and build a new spacecraft using this FTL technology, the Wave Motion Engine. Then a crew of 114 set out to Iskandar to retrieve the cosmic vacuum cleaner thing and return within the year before planet Earth completely dies. All in all, a very cool concept that was incredibly influential within Japanese anime. There are obvious inspirations seen throughout Gundam, Evangelion, and Macross. Even the video game Space Invaders nods its cap to the series. The story of the Game Boy game follows the original series pretty closely. You control the Yamato and her fleet of black tigers in a grid-like strategy segment. There's not a lot of strategy per se, you really just move your own icons towards the other icons. If two opposing units find themselves in adjacent spots, they'll initiate a battle. If the Yamato itself is not involved in the battle, it's automatic. The outcomes of the fights between your regular units seem to be based on RNG rather than unit strength. Sometimes a 10v10 battle will result in you coming out, say, 6-3 up, whereas other times an enemy unit may only have 2 ships left and can wipe out half of your full-strength unit without taking any damage itself. It's a little weird, feeling like an afterthought rather than anything strategical. A more entertaining battle system comes when Yamato is drawn into the fighting herself. The game transforms into a 3D effect dogfighting sequence where the enemy fleets storm upon you and you need to blast them away. It's quite satisfying to play and really shows Yamato's dominance over the much weaker grunts of the enemy fighters. There's not a lot of variation, just more and more enemies when time goes on, but it's a nice addition to what would otherwise be a rather empty strategy game. The aim of each stage is usually to get to an enemy base, missile silo, or some such marker point. Do so and you can destroy it by mashing A. This is pretty easy and, although it looks amazing, is kind of an anticlimactic gameplay mechanic. On some stages there are these heat-seeking missiles that come after your main battleship. It's worth getting your Cosmo Tigers to surround it so that they can take the brunt of the damage. The strategy sections are incredibly simplistic, as I say, which does help with the language barrier and means that the levels progress very quickly. An interesting point is that each game turn represents a day in the universe. If the 1-year time limit expires over the course of the whole adventure, you fail. Interesting to have an overarching dynamic like that. Other times you'll get this sinusoidal waveform thing moving across a graph. This is a warp system and you need to stop the ball right in the center section. It's tough to do, and although you do get a few tries, too many and it'll also be game over. Uchuu Senkan Yamato is some of the coolest anime source material we've seen so far, and it was odd that there weren't really many games dedicated to it. There's a version of this on the PC Engine CD which had a much more in-depth battle system and featured some of the actual TV show segments in it. The Game Boy edition obviously wouldn't be capable of that, but within the medium here it has to be acknowledged how good this game looks and sounds. The gameplay might be a little empty beneath all the razzle-dazzle, but even so, it's a thoroughly enjoyable adventure that doesn't drag on and doesn't require much language knowledge to get your teeth into.